Hello and welcome to the next episode of Scottish Football Matters with me, Lorenzo, and my good friend Murray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tonight we're going to be discussing last night's European games for Celtic, Rangers at Aberdeen and how the results went. We'll also preview the Motherwell game, or review the Motherwell game from Wednesday night, and we'll look ahead to this weekend's fixtures in the Scottish Premiership. How you doing, Murray? How you doing, mate?
Aye, I'm all right. Aye. Yeah, it was just the usual, usual European week of ups and downs for Scottish football. But I think we should start with the SPL game that was on, Motherwell Hibs. Thought Motherwell were worthy winners. The red card, obviously, I wouldn't say it changes it because they were comfortable at that point, but
Hmm.
it changes any chance of Hibs getting back in it, if you know what I
Yep.
mean.
Aye.
It sort of ended the game as a contest because I wouldn't be 100% sure that Motherwell would have went on to 100 would definitely win, but it was pretty comfortable in the end, and that Mass issue just seems to be getting better and better.
Mhm.
And
Well, it does.
sad news for any Rangers or well, sadness for any Rangers or Hearts fans because Hanley would be suspended for the game against Celtic. So
Oh, aye, that's right.
yeah,
I
in
forgot
fact,
about him. He actually he gets sent. Well, that's right. It was him
just
that gets sent off.
right
But
now I think it's probably good news. They might bring in a proper centre back, but
typical Grant Hanley though. I
I
mean,
think Celtic fans might be actually quite sad because they'd probably be quite happy to see him lining up.
uh,
But yeah, comfortable win for Motherwell, and I think that's them up to fourth. I think Rangers, Motherwell, and Hibs are all on the same points. But obviously, I
yep.
think Motherwell've played an extra couple of games, so have Hibs. So
Hmm.
it's but it's still very competitive. I mean, because
That's
and I'm not saying about Rangers, but what I'm saying is like, sorry, what I'm saying is like the top five. There's only 9 points between them.
mhm.
So even if you take away Rangers, you're still looking at like I don't think Motherwell and Hibs are too far away from Hearts. I'm on about over a 38 game season. I'm not saying that they're going to be ahead of them in a few weeks, but what I would say is like a lot of people felt that Hearts were like almost guaranteed top three, but I
uh,
don't look at it that way
no,
because
me either.
if you've got three Edinburgh derbies, forget Rangers and Celtic, right? If you've got three Edinburgh derbies and you're 9 points behind, you should be thinking you can win them all.
That's right. Yep.
And I'm not. I don't think they will. I don't think that by any stretch of the
No,
imagination because those
no.
games are
Can't
notoriously
imagine it.
draws or
That's right.
one goal either way. Sorry, got a bit of a cold.
Bucks
But
won.
yeah, I think it's a really refreshing look to the SPL table. Celtic aren't running away with it. Rangers aren't out of it, and Hearts, Hibs, and Motherwell all look very capable of challenging. What I would say is, though, see after that. In fact, no, I'm going to actually include Falkirk because Falkirk can go ahead of Rangers if they beat them at the weekend. But see
Hmm.
after that, I do think there's a bit of a drop off, at least points
Ah,
wise, to the likes
yeah.
of St Mirren and Aberdeen and whatnot. So um, they want to be careful they don't get caught adrift because
I
I
just
actually
wonder
think
though.
Falkirk could
Uh,
go top six right now.
I just wonder though that after the kind of January window, well, everybody's got their players in. I wonder if the likes of Celtic and Rangers will pull away again, like
I
Smith
don't
fall
know.
away.
I'm not.
I
I'm
wouldn't
not.
like to
I'm not
think
sure.
so, but
I'm not sure either of them are capable of going on. Like
not
I
at the
know
minute.
Rangers and Celtic have both won the last four games, but
Hmm.
I don't think they look capable of going on 6, 7, 8 winning runs. I
Plus,
mean,
we
they
don't
might
know
do.
what Wilfred Nancy's going to be like when he comes in. I mean, he likes a
Oh, I mean,
3-4-3 formation, so by all
but it might
accounts, he
take
might
Celtic
change
a
it.
bit of time to adapt, so they
That's
might
my
have
worry.
an early drop off to. But it
That's my
might be a
worry.
long term good. But look, I think it's an exciting league, and this is what we've been asking for years. Um,
Still like a bigger one though.
But yeah, it's fun. But if we talk about the European games, best to start with Celtic because it was the most positive. I thought they were
Mhm.
excellent. I thought they were quite poor in the first 10 minutes. I really did. I
Ah,
thought
yeah,
they started nervously. And Feyenoord's to fair, Feyenoord's goal is excellent. It's an
good goal.
excellent through ball,
Really good goal.
and the boy actually takes it well. But I have to say, and it's not a negative against Celtic, but I thought Feyenoord were really poor in the attacking sense. Like I thought
Yeah.
they were just really. timid. But then that's because, I mean, I think they've lost something like 6 of the last 7 games, so they looked like a team that were lacking confidence.
I think,
But Celtic are a team that you wouldn't expect it to be that confident because their away record in Europe is shambolic.
pretty
If we're
abysmal.
totally honest.
Pretty abysmal.
So, and I have to say, it was very comfortable. Like even at 2-1. I felt like Celtic had like 10 minutes where they just completely controlled the game and they were playing in Feyenoord's half and Feyenoord couldn't get out. And
I think for me that's
this
the
is a Celtic
best.
team that was quite mixed. I mean,
Aye,
starting guys like Yang, and what I would say is in the first half, I felt there was only 2 players that were below par, even though they had moments. And I felt it was Maeda and Engels. Now,
right.
don't get me wrong, Maeda did close down for the goal, right? But I thought he was terrible. I thought he did nothing of any use. He can't hold up the ball. He can't play up front in proper games. But he was bailed out because Yang was so good, because
Yang was good.
McCowan was excellent. That's Tati's best game
Mhm.
in all season.
I think it's
McGregor
Celtic's
was
best game of the season. I'll
McGregor
go
was
there and
his
say that.
usual self. I thought Donovan looked levels above Ralston.
Mhm.
I thought Tierney looked quite sharp. I thought Scales and Trusty were very good. As I said, there was only 2. I felt Engels, although Engels had moments, I think he put through a couple of lovely through balls.
Yeah.
But I did think, in general, his play was not to the level of the others, shall we say. That
Mhm.
doesn't mean that they were like worse than a 6. I'm not saying that, but I just felt that everyone else was like 8,
Yeah.
and they two were quite noticeable 6s.
Mhm.
And in Maeda's case, to me, 5. I thought
And
he was.
obviously
I thought
the second
and
goal,
the subs were good. The
the
subs were
second
good as
goal.
well, because
Aye.
when Negrin came on, um, Negrin played well. Not just his goal, but he offered something. All
Mhm.
the subs came on and offered something. Tereki had a bit of pace about him, which was obviously good in the later stages of games. So, and I thought everyone was excellent when they come off the bench. I would just say they two that started. I just think, and I know there's a lot of pressure on Engels because he's 11 million, and we'll talk about this because we will talk about Rangers and how there's price tag pressure.
Mhm.
But I do think that Engels was just a real level below the other ones. And for me, what he needs to do is completely simplify his game.
Well,
Just,
hopefully with the new manager coming in, he gets a new lease of life under him.
and I've said for a
Hopefully.
while, I think you should in Europe play the 2 6s and 1 8.
Yeah.
And I think that if Engels was next to McGregor and having McGregor talking through that role, he'll come on leaps and bounds.
Can you do that with a 3-4-3 formation?
You could, but it would mean you wouldn't play a Hatate, and I don't see how that would work. Or
I don't, you can't
but
play
in a
Hatate.
3-4-3, I don't really see how that suits Engels at all, because I don't think he's good enough to play in a 2, as in a 2
No.
central. I think you have to have legs, and I don't necessarily think he has that. And McCowan could look good in that.
Mhm.
But as if we speak about last night, I thought they were good. There was moments though where I felt, Feyenoord had a wee 10-minute spell at 2-1 where they hit the bar, and Celtic did look a wee bit nervous, but they got through it, and
I,
that's what you want to see, is you get
I thought
through the.
the equaliser for Celtic was good. The
Yeah,
build up to it.
Young's finish is excellent
Yeah,
because
a really good
it's a really
finish.
tricky angle,
Hmm.
and I thought the third goal was an excellent finish as well.
And the second
Um,
one, obviously, is just pressure from Maeda, the
I
press.
think I have to say I thought very little of that goalie. I thought he was terrible the whole night. He didn't look like a keeper that was commanding. He didn't
Seemed
look.
like a weird atmosphere as well, with the fact that there was a lot of fans
They
missing.
didn't. Because of the pyro and everything in it,
I
and
know.
it happens. But it's nice to see other teams getting punished for pyro, not just yours truly and us.
Hmm. Yeah.
But if we move on to Aberdeen, I think it was really disappointing for Aberdeen because,
Yeah. It started
and
well. I mean, they scored a
I
goal.
will compare it to Rangers. When you're 1-0 up at half time, at home, you want to be
Hmm.
seeing that through. And I think
I know.
Rangers will get on to. But I
Especially
think
Noah. I don't think Noah were that great, to be honest. I don't think they were that good a team.
no, but they had a 10-minute spell where they hemmed Aberdeen in, and
Mm.
they could have scored 2 or 3 in that spell. And that's
Look,
the problem,
Aberdeen's
is
goal was
Aberdeen.
a good goal.
I don't think Aberdeen ever really had in the second half anyway. They didn't have any sustained periods of control.
No.
It was too basketball-y. Sorry, and that just doesn't help. Um, Aberdeen need to be a team that's in control. You've seen they had control against Hearts. You've
Hmm.
seen that there was a structure to their team. There was no structure. last night. And to be honest with you, if they can't beat Noah, they're not going to pick up any wins.
No, I doubt it.
But what I
They're not
would
very
say
good.
is it's a learning curve for Jimmy Tillon, and if he is in the job next year, and I don't really think Aberdeen will be in Europe next year, but it's not my point. My point is that the next time Aberdeen in Europe, they need to learn from it,
But will
and
they?
that's what I'll say about. They need to learn from these nights and try to dominate when they are winning games.
Mm-hmm.
But fair play to that team. I thought they looked quite decent at times.
Aye.
But if you move on to Ibrox, it was really. Do you know the atmosphere was actually quite decent because obviously the farewell and that gone, and I thought
Mm-hmm.
Rangers started. I thought Rangers started really poorly. If I'm honest, it was a really scrappy, terrible first half hour from both
Yeah.
sides. But then Rangers around sort of 30, 35 minutes, I thought they had a really good last 10 minutes
Mm-hmm.
to the half time, and they got the penalty, which I don't think anyone can
What I was
argue.
I was
It's a
going to ask
penalty.
you, what did you make of that? What did you make of that?
It's a definite penalty because his arms outstretched. I still don't like it. I
I
still
know.
don't like
I
anything that
think it's a
comes over
stupid rule.
somebody's head, but anything that comes over somebody's head and hits an arm. But you can't argue if your arms, if you're
They're going to
like
be
a
given, aren't they?
winged bird, aye. So it is a penalty. And
Aye.
by the way, if it was the other end, it'd be given. And I've seen Rangers give away some penalties that are less than that, and you sometimes just need to take it. But I think obviously Tavernier scores, and I think the most disappointing thing for me was that Rangers obviously they looked like a team that haven't won this season in Europe because they were nervous in the second half. They never really,
Yeah.
like I said with Aberdeen, they didn't know how to control the game. And even after the red card, which I will speak about because one, it is a red card, and two, there's very little contact. But I'm going to make my point on that. It's a
Mm-hmm.
red card because of the intent.
Yeah.
Now, I think he possibly brushes the tip of his nose at best, right? And do I want Raskin to go down for that? Probably not, right? But at the same time, if he doesn't go down, it probably doesn't get seen and it probably doesn't get drawn. And by the way, the
No, well,
guy
well,
deserves to get.
why would it not get seen? Because they've got VAR. They would have seen it on VAR anyway.
I just don't know. I don't know if it has the same impact. I don't like it because I remember, and I've seen Celtic players do it. I've seen Rangers players do it. I've seen Scotland players do it. I've seen players at the top end, like Liverpool players, Man City players. When somebody puts their head into they go down, and I've
Mm-hmm.
seen Phil Foden, who I think is a fabulous player, go down like an absolute softie. And I don't like it with Raskin last night, but at the same time, if he doesn't go down, maybe you don't get that decision. I would love like see things like that. I'd love to him to stay on his feet, but go to the referee and say, "Look what he's
Mm-hmm.
just done. Go and check it." Right.
Aye.
At the same time, I would love to see penalties given when people foul a player and they don't go down.
That's
I
right.
hate that.
Aye.
But the fact that you need to
Because
kind of
it's still a
dive,
foul. It's still a foul.
aye, and that's what I would say. That's very similar to that. Is Raskin has to kind of dive because he might not get it.
Mm-hmm.
But by the way, I think it's a definite red because there's just no. It was so pointless as well because
So
Raskin
you're admitting,
did
so you're
nothing.
admitting that he dived in.
Yes, absolutely. But I think sadly in the modern day football, you have to get draw the attention to it.
So you think if he doesn't go down, the guy doesn't get sent off?
No, I don't. Well, put it this way: I don't trust UEFA and VAR
Do you think the
properly
contact
enough.
on Raskin was enough to make him go down, or do you think he's obviously dived in?
No, no, I don't
Well,
think it's enough to go down. But I
so he's
think
obviously
the intent.
so is he cheated then?
No, because the intent to headbutt someone is a red card. So it's not.
I
He's
suppose,
got
aye.
the right result happened. It's a definite red card. Do I like how you got to the right result? No, not really.
No.
But I don't like it when people don't get penalties for not going down when they get fouled. Just
I
like I
suppose
don't
he
like the
as
fact that
using
they
that
have
as
to
an
dive.
analogy is a good. It's a
Aye,
good analogy. Aye.
but but at the end of the day, Rangers after that just looked. I mean, let's be honest, right? Rangers probably should have won the game 1-0, right? It's a terrible, terrible error by Giga, right? He misjudges the. And by the way, I'm going to give him a wee bit of sympathy, right? You probably didn't notice it last night because you were in Holland where it wasn't 40, 50 mile an hour winds.
Mm-hmm.
But that game at Ibrox and bits of the games at Aberdeen, the wind didn't help either side. And I actually think that the ball gets caught in the wind. And by the way, it's still schoolboy defending, right? I'm not defending Nasser Giga, but it's not the greatest conditions. And if you're going to make a mistake and look foolish, I do think the wind played a part.
Do you think
But a good
is he
defender
he's
shouldn't
on
be
loan?
arsing that up.
Who's he
Aye,
on loan from?
Wolves, and somebody they paid 10 million for him, which is
Is he on loan for the whole season or just to
yeah.
January?
I
The
don't.
whole
I
season.
wouldn't. I'd cancel it
Do you think they
and
will?
go see if you can get a player who can defend.
Well, wait a minute. Is that guy that's at Rangers Enciala? Is he not a centre half?
Yeah,
Well, why
but he isn't in our
he's a
Euro squad.
he's a permanent player. So, but he
I
should be
know,
getting a
but
chance.
he isn't in our Euro squad because of the. So, it's like the rules. Because like
But if they get
Simpson
rid of
Tuesday isn't
him,
in it,
I
and
know. But if they get rid of Jigger,
oh
they
yeah,
can
if they
make
get
room,
rid.
bring him in.
But what I would say is,
Or is that
um,
does that happen? See if you cancel a loan, can you? I know that for an injured player you can bring a player
yeah,
in if somebody's
I
injured. Can
think
you do
so.
it if you
If
cancel
they're
a
no
loan?
longer at the club, or if they
Right.
get recalled, then you can do it. But what I would say is that I'll be interested to see how Rangers line up on Sunday, because I would drop Giga and I would probably play James Tavernier at centre back.
Think you can
And you
do
might
that?
laugh at that, but do you want to know why? Because it's Falkirk at home, and I'm not being disparaging, but Rangers will have a lot of the ball. And I don't think Falkirk are like a Livingston who are physical. So I think Tav would probably handle the Falkirk front line.
Yeah.
But just based on who it is, would I do that against Hearts in a couple of weeks? Absolutely not. Would I do it against Kelly? Absolutely not. Would I do it against Dundee United? Absolutely not. But Falkirk are kind of tailor made to get away with it, and
hmm
hopefully that gives us time to get Sterling back in, because
I would
as
say
we all know,
Dundee are
he
like that
hasn't.
as well. Dundee are a team
Yeah,
like that as well.
there's not a physicality to him. Simon
hmm
Murray's decent and he puts
Aye.
himself about, but he's not. So I think, yeah, I think Rangers will probably go Aarons, Tav, Fernandez. I think Fernandez looks okay, by the way. I don't think he's great, but I don't think he's terrible either.
Well, he scored
Or you
last
could
week.
just play Enciala, as you said.
Aye,
Maybe
and
go
Ciala. hmm
And Fernandez,
Yeah.
because
He's completely. Was he injured in
Giga should
Ciala?
play. No, he just Martin didn't like
Just
him,
completely disappeared.
but he was in the squad last weekend. He was on the bench.
Right.
So, but I think the one thing I would say about Rangers is they lack confidence in these European games. They kind of need to get a win for somewhere. But to see
hmm
if you can't win against 10 men with 25 minutes to go, 1-0 up at home, you're probably not going to win. Like, do you know what I mean? That's what I was saying about Aberdeen. If
hmm
you can't see that game through, you're not going to get much better opportunities.
That's right.
But I think Rangers as a team and as a fan base, they've kind of given up on Europe. They've kind of just went, do you know what? And of all the teams in Europe that are allowed one bad year, I think Rangers have earned it over the last decade to have a shambolic. I had two, didn't we? We had that Champions League one, but
With that
you're
happening,
allowed
though,
them.
Murray, that'll affect the coefficient really badly
It
because
does, but we're the
because
only
the
reason
other
the
teams in
coefficient's
I mean
good, though.
we obviously try our best to do what we can do in Europe, but
Aye,
the other teams don't. Like
I know. Well,
Aberdeen,
they try
they're
their
just
best, but the
it's not good
problem is
enough.
they've got the same problem that we have, though, is that when they play their big games, they're not ready for it because
hmm
it's August
Aye,
and it's July sometimes, and
that's
it's
right. I mean,
tough.
the
It's really
qualifiers. I
tough.
know. I
um,
don't agree with the qualifiers anyway for teams
but
that win the
it's
league, as you
but
know.
honestly, I'm not giving Rangers a pass, but I think if any team in Scotland deserve a pass for 1 year, I do think it's Rangers, because for years and
Fair
years
enough.
we've got to that last 16, that quarter-final stage of the Europa League, and yeah, it's a terrible year. But the way I look at terrible year is, see the next year, it's a blank slate in it. It's like, well, you can only get
Well,
better.
I mean, you have to look at it, you don't want to be looking at it as like, oh, for the years that you were doing well in Europe, were you punching above your weight or were you doing really well? What is it?
I just think this year's just a really disorganised year with the change of manager. With do you know the fact is the squad's not good enough for Europe.
I
Those
don't think
signings
Celtic's
aren't
has
good
either.
enough. Some of those players
Celtic's,
are good enough. I believe some of them are good enough. And Tav and that's proved they are good enough for a certain level in Europe, not
hmm
Champions League, but a certain level of
the
Europa League.
Celtic squad's the same.
But
It's not good enough.
but I think, as I said, it's just it's a one-off. I think for Rangers this year, but they don't want to be losing all their games. I mean, I know they've drawn, but out of the last three, I really think we
But
need to be
can you
taking at
finish
least
both?
four
I mean,
points.
you don't want to finish both with
No, of
the
course you
whole
don't.
section, the whole group, the whole
But
league.
we also, I think, when you look at our last three games, we've got away to Ferencvaros, we've got home to Ludogorets, and away to Porto. I think we
hmm
need to come away with at least 5 points. A win in the home game against Ludogorets and two draws away will give you that sort of positive end to it, where you go, well, we're unbeaten in four, that type thing, and you can take that
hmm
into next season. Because I think we'd lost 7 in a row going into last night,
Right.
and that's terrible. I mean, I can't think of the last
That's
time
pretty
Rangers
bad.
done that.
Well, that's Celtic's first away win. Sorry to go back to that, but that's Celtic's
Mm.
first away win in Europe for 4 years.
No.
Aye. And
But
that's
some
the
of it's
first
been
win in
tough when you
Holland.
play in
That's the
the
first one in.
Champions League, though.
Aye.
It can be
That,
tough, though.
that's the first one in Holland or the Netherlands since Mark
Aye,
O'Neill
the
done it
Ajax.
against
Aye.
Ajax back in 2001.
Whereas if
Crazy.
you look at Rangers, we've more than held our own in years. I mean, last season we won in Fenerbahce. We've done lots of great results. It's a bad year. We move on. And
Well,
but what I'm scared about is that Danny Rule doesn't get a win out of these last 3 games. He needs to get one, because when you go into those, maybe if we're in the Champions League, because it is an if right now, because we're not guaranteed to finish top 2. But if we go into the Champions League qualifiers,
how many qualifiers is it next season for the Champions League? 2 or 3?
oh, I don't know, about
Three?
8
I think it's
probably. For
8.
no joke. No, I think for the second place it's 4, and for the first place it's 3, which is
Right.
just mad, isn't it?
That's crazy. It's
But,
absolutely nuts.
but by the way, it does mean you're going to get teams like Lincoln Red Imps and not to bring up that one,
Carabag, teams
but
like that. I don't want them again.
Carabag's decent though. But what I mean
Aye,
is
but
you're going to get
it's
like
the travel.
Linfields and Shelburne and stuff. So maybe
Mhm.
getting those teams might just give you that confidence. Because I remember Dick Advocaat's first year. I don't know if you remember that one, but we got Shelburne and we were 3-0 down after about an hour.
Oh, for
And
Shelburne?
aye,
I
but
don't
we
remember
actually
that.
won the game 5. I remember it wasn't played in Ireland because of, you know,
Troubles?
things. Shall we say they didn't want to cause any trouble. I think we played it in, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we played it in Liverpool or somewhere like that, somewhere in England, right? But we 3-0 down after an hour, but we won 5-3. And but see, when you can just get that win, and then the next round, I'm pretty sure we played a absolute diddy team like Beitar Jerusalem and stuff. But it gave you a kind of like just an easy start to get a bit of momentum. Whereas when you go into these in the later rounds, and your first game is against, and look at Rangers this year, Panathinaikos, Club Brugge. I mean, they're decent level teams. There's no
That's right.
gimmies,
I mean,
you know.
the
Whereas
Panathinaikos game, you actually probably shouldn't have won that game, but you've won it.
no, but I think one thing I would say, that I don't want to criticise Danny Rule, but who was our best player in those early games? Young Finlay Curtis. Now I've seen nothing to suggest that Ant-Man's better than him right now. And with Mikey Moore injured, I'm really surprised that he hasn't given Curtis more minutes. And Lyle Cameron's another one. I want to see them starting every European game for the other 3 games, because we're out now, right?
Yeah.
So go and give some people a chance. Give Dujon Sterling those 3 games to kind of build up
If
his
it
fitness as well.
if it doesn't give them games, then you're going to
There's,
imagine he'll either
there's well
punt them
loan.
or put them out on loan.
I mean, I can understand the basis of giving Curtis a loan, because he's what, 18, so
Yeah.
I understand that. But like, Lyle Cameron's good enough to be in our team, and
Aye.
Asgard's shown nothing to suggest he's better. Absolutely nothing. So if we go on to the weekend, I think we'll split it into 2, because there's 3 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday.
Aye.
So if we start with the Saturday games,
Mhm.
what's your thoughts on Dundee against St Mirren?
I
Dundee
think
need a win,
Dundee do need a win,
because
but I think St
presence.
Mirren are
St Mirren are playing for
obviously
cup
playing,
final places, all
and
of
plus
that.
although we beat them 1-0, but that was a really tough game, and St
Mm.
Mirren can play well in games, and they do really well, and they work hard. He's got them working hard, and he's got them well organised. So I'd say that I'd probably fancy St Mirren
Dundee
for
are
that one.
better at Dens, though. They are
I
better at
know,
Dens than they are. So,
I know, but you
see, I'm
just
on the
get that
fence for this one.
sneaky
I think
thing with
2-1.
Stephen
I think
Robinson.
2-1 St Mirren, but I do
Mm,
think it could be one each. Like, I
aye,
wouldn't be massively surprised if we come on here on Monday and it was a draw. But I think I'll go 2-1 St Mirren. But
I'll
I
go.
don't think it'll be easy.
I'll go 1-0 St Mirren.
Okay. Next one would be Kilmarnock against Dundee United.
Oh, Kilmarnock haven't been setting the heather on fire, have they recently? Well, Dundee
Well,
United
they've
have
lost
kind
the
of fallen
last
away a
7.
bit as well.
Kilmarnock's lost the last 7.
Well,
Kettlewell's under pressure.
exactly.
And Dundee United are Jekyll and Hyde. It
Aye,
was the shit version last week.
they turn up or they don't turn up.
There's no real in between. But by the way, now this is
A
going to
lot of
sound
box of
really bad,
chocolates,
but
Dundee United, aren't they? You never know what you're going to get.
I'm going to be contradictory, because I say that they're either brilliant or shite, but I actually think this is going to be a draw. just because I think Kilmarnock need to stop the run of defeats. Dundee United need to bounce back from the terrible performance.
Mm-hmm.
But then they've got Rangers on Wednesday as well. So, and I think
That
they do
Tannadice,
have
innit? The
Celtic,
Tannadice.
but they've got Celtic twice coming up in January as well. There's no gimmies for Dundee United, and I think they need to try and, I don't know, and then Kilmarnock as well. I think Kilmarnock have got Rangers next weekend.
Yeah.
So we actually play both these teams in the next week, but you fancy that they're going to get points from somewhere.
Yep.
I'm going to say a draw in this one, but not because I do think Dundee United are better, but I just think that when you get losing runs like that, it has to stop somewhere, but it
Uh-huh.
usually ends with a draw, doesn't it? And then you build
Aye.
on it. So I'm
I
going to say
think
1-1.
I think Dundee United will just shade it 2-1
Yeah.
because I think they'll bounce back for last week. Because as you say, they're a bit Jekyll and Hyde. I think they turn up some
Well,
weeks. They don't
I
turn
hope
up.
they do
So
win it, because then they can not turn up on Wednesday and we can beat them, and then
well,
Kilmarnock can
well, if
get
it's the
their
other way, well, I'd rather they didn't
Kelly
turn
can
up
get
more
their
of the.
win in midweek, and then we can beat them. No, I'm joking, but obviously we need to go on a sustained run of wins. But if we go to the big game on Saturday, Motherwell Hearts. Now this is a tricky one for me because I'm not sure that Hearts will lose, and I'm not sure that Motherwell will win, because Motherwell obviously got a good win against Hibs. They won last weekend. They're not a
But they'll
team
be.
that
But you've
goes
got to
on.
think they'll be on a high for beating Hibs as well.
They are, but you know what, a lot of the teams in Scotland, they don't really
There's no
put 3,
consistency.
4, 5, 6 wins together,
There's no
and
consistency. Yeah.
that's why again I know the first game was a draw with 3 each, but I'm gonna go with a 2-2 this time. I don't think either of them are particularly. Hearts are stronger, I would say, but I don't think they're particularly strong at the back at
Mm.
times. And I think Motherwell are all wrong for them with the counter attack. And I just think both teams will score, and I don't think that either team will do enough to win.
I think Motherwell will be on a high for winning. Obviously, Hearts will want to bounce back for their defeat, but
Yeah,
I just something's telling me that Motherwell's going to win that game.
I know. See, I wasn't sure, but then I just think that
I'm
I just
obviously hoping that they win it as well. I'm
I
hoping
wouldn't
as
be
well,
bothered,
but
but I don't care if they draw. Do you know what I mean? I'd still be take that as a good result.
of course, as
Draws.
long as you don't win. See, as long as you
Because
don't
let's
win.
be honest, the reason Rangers are where they are is because of draws. It's
Mm-hmm.
not because of defeats. Rangers have only been beaten once this year.
Because they no draw about so many of their opening 5 games or
Something like
whatever it was.
5 of the first 6, wasn't it?
That's something like that.
So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I
I
mean,
think Motherwell will
it's
shade it.
draws. So, but that's what I'm saying, is it's not like you can't catch Hearts based on draws, and I think
No,
it will be draws. Like, I could see
basically
Hearts
draws will
doing.
kill Hearts. That's what you're saying.
But remember that Tommy Burns team? That's what that
Aye,
was like. The draws
that's
killed
right.
you.
We lost the
And
league because the draws that season. That's right.
yeah,
We only
he's
lost
only
one game.
lost one now.
One game
But and that one game was to
to
Rangers.
Rangers. Hmm.
Pretty sure it was a Richard. I'm pretty sure it was 1-0. It was a Richard
Aye,
Goff header.
it was a tight game.
And
Hmm.
it was a terrible game. I was there as
Aye,
a kid. I
aye,
remember it,
it
and I
was a
remember
tight game.
Goff scoring in about 80th minute with a header. And
Mm.
Rangers, they didn't do much, but Celtic were always nervous back in those days. I think at Ibrox, they never sort of, until later on they started to win at Ibrox. You always felt that they were going to muck it up somewhere.
Hmm.
But I think I'll go 2 each on the Hearts Motherwell.
I'll go 2-1 Motherwell because I just think they'll shade it.
Right, I'm going to go for my shock of the weekend in this next one. Right,
Hmm.
Livingston Aberdeen. I think that Livingston are going to win this game 2-0, and I'll tell you why. They
Europe
were good at
hangover.
Ibrox. But they were good at Ibrox. And if they apply themselves, and sometimes teams go into, when they feel hard done by, they probably should have got a point right, and they could have got a penalty. And sometimes teams take that hard luck feeling and take it into the next game.
Yeah.
And I just get a feeling that they will. And I remember when Rangers, did we not lose to Hearts, and then after that beat Livingston, and we got our
Yeah,
first sort of win.
that's
And I
right.
remember we were hard done by that day with a sort of penalty and a handball and things like that, and a disallowed goal. And I remember Rangers just sort of looked like, we can't leave it up to the refs, so let's just do it yourself. And there was a bit of a, we weren't great, but we were really good for 45 minutes that game. But it was a
Hmm.
Russell Martin team, so it was still probably pish. But
Yeah.
no, I just think I think Livy are due a win, and I don't know why. I've got a feeling on that pitch, and again, European hangover.
Right.
Just a feeling that it's the
Well, they
sort of
were
game
at
that
Pittodrie. They
Livingston
didn't
win.
travel, so they were at Pittodrie. But
I know, but it's just that Livingston are all wrong for Aberdeen. They
it's a
always
tough
have
game.
been.
It's a tough game.
What you
I,
going
I,
with?
I would probably say that you might be right. Livingston probably will just shade it. They'll beat them.
Right. I think the next one we'll leave Celtic to last because I think it's the best game. Although, by the way, you could make an argument that this is the best game. Rangers Falkirk are quite evenly matched. I'm ashamed to say. I don't think there's much between the sides. Well, not this side anyway, because this Rangers side aren't a top team.
Yeah.
And I think Falkirk are punching above their weight, but then I think that puts them quite close because Rangers are a wee bit down, they're a wee bit up.
Aye.
Only reason I'm going to shade it to Rangers, right, is because of Ibrox. I don't think there's much more than
Home
that.
advantage.
And I think if this was at Falkirk, I could see them winning 2-1. But because it's at Rangers, I'm going to go Rangers to win 1-0.
Right.
But I think it'll be a nervy game, and they'll maybe miss some chances, and we'll feel a wee bit like, oh, we got away with one there. But I think I'm just going to go, and I don't think Rangers are good enough to be scoring a lot of goals. And I just get a feeling that it'll be not a sneaky 1-0, but like there'll be times in the game that Rangers are comfortable, but there'll be
Yeah.
times that you go, oh, do you know what I mean? We've all had those ones at home where
Yep.
you win
Aye.
1-0 and you go, we deserved it, but oh, if they'd been more clinical. So
Aye.
yeah, I'm just
I,
going to say 1-0.
I think I think European games during the week for Rangers. Obviously, the result was disappointing for them. I think it'll be one each. I think it'll be a
Yeah,
draw.
I just think, honestly, I think it could have been if it was away, but I just think Rangers they've
Well, you
won
might be
all their
right.
domestic games under Danny
Uh
Rule,
huh.
but they haven't actually played well yet.
No, they
Well,
haven't.
do you know what? I'm gonna be. I thought we played quite well at Hibs. I know they missed a late penalty, but Rangers were really in control of that game for everything up until that penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never felt like Hibs were going to score until Rangers did something stupid.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm going to give that one a bye. But other than that game, I don't think Rangers have been very good yet under the rule. But yeah, I just think Rangers will win 1-0. But I do think it'll be. I can't believe I'm backing Rangers to get a clean sheet, which is probably the craziest thing I've
Hugh
ever said.
Keevins, a Hugh Keevins prediction.
Yeah, but
um,
just a feeling that it'll be a 10. And also, if my other predictions go right and Hearts drop points and Celtic, you'll find out, drop points,
mm-hmm.
then Rangers will maybe be lifted by that and
Yeah.
know that if they get the win, then they can close a gap.
Get a bit.
Because we're going to come on to Celtic, and I think the Hibs Celtic game will finish 2-2.
You think so? I think. I
Yeah,
think. I
and
think
by the way,
Celtic will win it.
I just think Celtic are a wee bit different away from home. I know
I
they were
know,
good last night,
but because it's
but
Martin O'Neill's last
domestically,
game and all the rest of it, I think.
no, I
I
know,
just think.
but Hibs are just not an easy team. You, I think if you picked any team
They're
in the
no
league
easy. No,
that
they're no
you
easy.
didn't want, I think Hibs would be right up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think Easter Road is a real tricky thing, and they've got a lot of things that they could cause you problems with, like Boyle's pace, and I still don't think that Celtic backline's
It's not great,
great.
but
So, but I can't not see Celtic scoring. Do you know what I mean?
I
Because
think.
they've
I
got
think.
really good players.
Yeah.
I,
We will
and
score.
Celtic predominantly, honestly, Easter Road are pretty terrible.
Well, we
It's
have been.
probably your
It's a
worst
kind of
away
bogey.
ground,
It's a bogey ground. It's a bogey ground. Aye,
and
bogey ground.
I feel like you probably should have drawn last weekend against St Mirren, and somehow I think you will play 10 times better, but draw, whereas you've played shite and won. If you know
Well,
what
I
I mean,
know
and that
it's
happens in
crazy.
football.
That's nuts. Yep.
And I just think that although Martin O'Neill, you don't want to see him go out, but you don't want to see him go out on a negative result. But I still don't think a 2 each would be that negative. I think
No,
Celtic fans would look at that whole
I think. I
period
just
and
think. I
go,
think we'll
"He
win.
got us to a final. He won away in Europe, and he won. What would that have been? One, two, three,
Well, he won all
three
the
of
league
our
games,
four domestic games, like home. Aye, so he got us. He won a cup game. He won
and
in
he won all the
Europe,
league
lost in
games.
Europe, and he won his league games in that, and it finished with a draw. That's not the end of the world. I mean, even Callum McGregor said last week, a draw at St Mirren isn't the end of the world. And I think Celtic will look at a draw at Hibs isn't the end of the world either.
No.
Because
But I think they'll shade it. I
put
think
it this
Celtic
way,
will win.
Hearts will lose at Easter Road this season. I've got no doubt about that.
I think
Rangers will
Celtic will shade
probably
it.
lose at some point. Do you know what I mean, at Easter Road? But I don't know. I think the travel as well. And I know sometimes you think, oh, we won, so they'll be high, but that doesn't matter at Easter Road because
I know.
Hibs always start well.
I know.
I just think Celtic have been really, really shit away from home in the Premiership. I mean, if you look at Dundee are way weaker than Hibs. St Mirren are probably weaker than Hibs, and they've caused us a lot of problems. I'm just going to say to each, what are you going with?
I'm going with.
I think it'll be close though.
I think it'll be close, but I think Celtic will shade it. I think Celtic will win 2-0. There you go.
Oh no, there's no way he's keeping a clean sheet.
We'll see what happens.
I'll put my life on that.
I'll stick my neck out.
I just think Hibs are excellent going forward.
Although they're good, but I just think with Martin O'Neill leaving, Celtic will be high and they want to finish his tenure with a decent performance.
I'm not saying they can't win. I can't see them keeping a clean sheet. But then again, I'm a guy that just predicted Rangers will keep a clean sheet, so I'm obviously high on cough medicine or something. So no, I think it'll be an interesting weekend, and obviously next midweek we've got a midweek card.
So on Monday we can review that.
Yep, because I think obviously we can talk probably extensively about your new manager because he comes in on Monday. So
and he'll be in charge of the game on Wednesday. So we'll see first.
Yeah,
I'll see firsthand how he gets on.
Apparently he's going to be at Easter Road on Sunday.
I would imagine so. Yeah,
in the crowd anyway. But
yeah,
I hope he doesn't go anywhere near the changing room because I hate that.
I don't think he will.
But I remember when Van Bronckhorst took over, people like that. He was at the stand and people like, you should have went in at half time, and because we were losing, I was like, you shouldn't be getting in the way of whoever's in charge.
If he's not started yet, then he's not started yet. So. No.
And not somebody like Martin O'Neill who knows what he's doing. So.
Celtic inside out.
Maybe if it was maybe if it was just Maloney, you could understand him going in and going, "Do you need help?" But no, I think it'll be an interesting weekend. And as I said, I think everyone's just going to get even tighter at that top.
That will be interesting.
But then it's Rangers' turn next week. We've got 2 away games away to Kelly and Dundee.
Celtic are at home to
you and Hearts. Hearts need to go to Hughes, which obviously Rangers will just look at that as a positive because somebody's dropping points.
Well, that's right.
Maybe both of you. So we desperately need to win at Kilmarnock next week to take advantage of whoever drops points. Hopefully both. I'd take a draw right now. I'm sure you wouldn't, but it'll be a tough start for Wilfred Nancy.
But we shall see. We were watching. And we'll wait with bated breath to see what happens.
Well, anticipation. I think this will be a good weekend. I think there'll be goals anyway.
That's just about a minute to go now.
It's Falkirk Rangers, Hibs Celtic, Motherwell Hearts should be goals. Right, I'll catch you later. Right.
Cheers, mate.
Right. Bye.
Bye.